quiet in here? Can everybody hear me over there? Okay, so if we can get a little bit more volume, that'd be great. I think that sounds better. Yes? Okay, we're good. Hi.
Hi, Erin.
I'm used to saying hi, my name's Erin, I'm an alcoholic, so.
Hi, Erin.
First of all, I'd like to thank all of you who were able to come today to celebrate Sean's life. There are so many of you who have done so much for our family and who mean so much to our family over the years, and it is such a blessing to celebrate with so much love and abundance in this group, so I just want to say thank you. It's been overwhelming and incredibly touching to see the abundant outpour of love and the beautiful memories people have shared with our family over the last week. So again, thank you for everybody that sent us little stories about Sean and beautiful memories that you have. I'm a little nervous. Sean was a son, a brother, an uncle, a grandson, a cousin, a nephew, and to many of you, a caring friend. He was smart, witty, and intelligent. He was funny, approachable, and charismatic. He was artistic, well-read, and a total music lover. He was a diehard Broncos fan, a Star Wars fanatic, and an avid movie watcher. Above all, he was generous and loved to be of service. Whether he was helping a friend clean out a storage unit, fixing things around the house, or giving his last cigarette to the homeless person on the corner, Sean cared about people. He always gave what he had and he thought it would somehow help someone else. I'd like to speak about Sean as a brother since that was my experience of him. From the earliest memories I can remember, I absolutely loved Sean. I looked up to him and wanted to be just like him. When Sean started playing accordion, I wanted to play accordion. When Sean played basketball, I wanted to play basketball. I was always following him around, doing my best to be his shadow. We had endless hours of playing G.I. Joes, hide and seek, riding bikes, playing tag, catching crawdads, and watching Star Trek on Friday nights. I was heartbroken when he popped the heads off my Barbies, and I will never forgive him for chasing me around with spiders. Yes, Sean was the typical big brother to me growing up. His love for music started early, and so did his influence of music in my life. I remember spending hours making mixtapes with him and listening to his large collection of CDs he built over the years. Everything from hip-hop and R&B to Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd, or to Pearl Jam and Nirvana, Sean was my musical encyclopedia. Those memories are both near and dear to my heart and also feel like a different lifetime ago. Shit. I'm taking these heels off. Throughout our lives together, Sean and I were often at odds with each other. We were like oil and water for a long time. We have been through dark times together, and the wreckage between us created a painful distance that at the time seemed irreparable. As many of you know, both Sean and I both struggle with the disease of alcoholism. After our dad's passing, I hit a bottom that somehow sent me into the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous, and I started a journey into sobriety that would forever change my life. In that time, I was able to make amends with Sean and embark on a new and loving relationship with my brother. Alcoholism has been the most painful and incredible teacher I've ever had in my life. It's like a spider web. It seems to affect every person that comes into contact with it. I find it important to share this with everyone because it's something that has robbed us of friendship, trust, patience, peace, and most importantly, it has stolen away our brother, uncle, cousin, nephew, grandson, son, and friend. Through this journey so far, what I have found that has brought me peace is that in the end, we all belong to God. I believe that Sean's life was no mistake, and every part, both shadow and light, served a higher purpose. Sean continues to help me grow deeper in my understanding of loving, compassion, and forgiveness. He's taught me how to stand in my truth, honesty, and authenticity. He's shown me how to embrace both the shadow and the light, because it's only by going through my darkness that I have learned to appreciate and thrive in the light. Most importantly, he has taught me that this life is a continued process of growing and learning, that our life is a gift and a season with purpose. He has touched my heart and challenged my spirit. Although I will miss him, I will always love him, and he will always live on in my heart. I would like to end with 2 readings and a song that I wrote for Sean. I'm certainly not going to sing it because there's no way. So I'm going to read it. If my phone works with me. There we go. Okay, and this is actually on the back of the photos that we set on the table, so I encourage all of you to take one home with you if you'd like. On dying, for what is it to die but to stand naked in the wind and to melt into the sun? And what is it to cease breathing but to free the breath from its restless ties, that it may rise and expand and seek God unencumbered? Mm-hmm. And I can't pronounce his name very well, but I think it's Khalil Gibran.
Khalil.
Thank you. The second poem is Thoreau. Every blade in the field, every leaf in the forest lays down its life in its season, as beautifully as it was taken up. And lastly, I'm going to give a quick story about this song. I wrote this song 2 years ago when I wasn't sure if I would see Sean again. And many of you know he was in Florida and he was very sick. And for a while we didn't know where he was. And I was in despair, and I had called a spiritual teacher of mine, and what she said to me is, Sean is your brother, but he does not belong to you. He belongs to God. And it was so touching to find a reading in the New Testament that put that so beautifully. And so this song is about my process in learning to accept that I don't know what's best for Sean, and I don't know what his agreement with God was, and who am I to judge it? And that's really what I mean by the chorus, which is, there's freedom in not knowing. So here's the song. A song for brother, there's freedom in not knowing. I think I'll shut my brain off tonight and search the membrane of my being. Everything you said, I think you meant it. Looking for answers I'm not seeing. And you're still just slipping away. In the end, I found I was only dreaming. There's freedom in not knowing. Every person has a right to their own journey. Where did it start and where does it end? I raked a path here, in the process I got buried. There's no use in fighting a fight where no one ever wins. And who am I to say where you are going? I've come to find that there's freedom in not knowing. Thank you.
Good job, Erin.
Thank you, Erin. That was beautiful. I also would like to start off by thanking everyone who is here today, and even those who weren't able to attend, for all the love and support you've shown Sean and my family over the years, I think I was supposed to say. You will never know the level of gratitude we have for you all. Sean and I's relationship is best summed up by childhood memories of his love for spiders and my complete hatred for them. As a child, Sean would rip the legs off spiders and chase me around throwing them at me. But at the same time, if I was terrified, he would come to my rescue and scoop them into a jar so they couldn't come near me. We would sit there and watch them in the jar, and Sean would teach me about them. Metaphorically, over the years, Sean has thrown a lot of spiders at me. But in the end, he taught me a lot about life, and as my big brother, has brought me comfort, safety, and love throughout my life. As children, we weren't necessarily close. Sean was 5 years older than me, but when we moved from Lyons to Littleton in 1998, our relationship changed. You can't even see my paper. The age gap became less and less significant. At some point during high school, I moved my room to the basement and shared the basement with Sean. We spent hours talking about life, laughing, crying, watching TV and Star Wars, listening to music and entertaining friends. We were so close. One time I remember sitting in the storage closet together. Why the storage closet? I have no idea. We had just found out Dad had cancer, and Sean had gotten in trouble with the police. And this was the first time Sean told me that he thought he had a problem with alcohol. I read him a poem I wrote about him, and we hugged and cried. I will never forget that moment. It was so vulnerable. After that, the years slipped by in a blur. Sean's addiction was really coming to a head, and Dad died, and life became a roller coaster. I don't know at what point we became so distant, and I wish I could go back in time. These years have been so hard, and I've missed you for so long. I've been grieving our friendship for the last 6 years. All I wanted is to call you and talk, to discuss books and music, to go to concerts together like we used to laugh and see your kind eyes and beautiful smile. I will hate your disease forever for taking that away. But for now, let us soak in some good memories. Sean was by far the best gift giver I've ever known. Every Christmas I look forward to Sean's thoughtful and usually homemade gifts. Whether it was a mixed CD of well-thought-out songs or a handmade bracelet, Sean always spent time on each of us every Christmas to give an inspired and meaningful gift. Even when he has had nothing, he never ceased to amaze me. Anyone who's ever lived with Sean knows, like my mom said at the funeral, that his favorite foods were always yellow. As kids, we each had a night to cook for our family, and when it was Sean's night, we called it Yellow Meal. Our plates consisted of mac and cheese, corn, peaches, anything yellow. He made the best macaroni and cheese. One time he diced up dill pickles and put them in. I thought he was crazy, but it ended up being the best mac and cheese ever. One of my all-time favorite moments with my brother was in high school. He walked up and asked if I wanted to go to Pearl Jam and Tom Petty. He could have asked anyone to go to that concert with him, but he asked me. And it was one of the best concerts I've ever been to. And the best part was being with my brother. Sean, just in case God is letting you hear this, thank you for taking Odin on adventures. Thank you for your love of literature and art. Thank you for sharing music with me, and thank you for always loving me. I never doubted it. I hope and pray that you feel the same way. I'm so sorry if I ever made you feel unloved. I always have and always will love you. I love you, I love you, I love you. Rest in peace, gentle brother. I imagine you walked into the light and into Dad's warm embrace. Love always, the other SVH.
We're going to go ahead and show a movie that we put together of pictures of Sean.